Should Diddy walk? I think he should. Welcome to another episode of DUBB of the Week. I want to thank everybody that subscribed because I made it to 400 subscriptions last week. I am the happiest person now because I'm putting in work every day and I'm seeing my rewards. Do you get what I mean? There's no other ways to do it but to work hard. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank each and everybody who's subscribed, who's been watching my content, who's been commenting, who's been liking, and who's been sharing. And you know the routine, man. Before we go forward, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. The reason why I do DUBB of the Week is when I reach a certain number of subscriptions, I usually do this. Do you get what I mean? And yeah, I'm loving this, man. You know, I'll keep it going. And happy week. You know, I wish you guys the best, basically. But let's get into the proceedings, man. Today I'm going to be talking about the Diddy case. Diddy updates, man. It's been 3 weeks since he's been on trial. And crazy, man. Jeez. Freak show, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? To all those that have been watching, what do you guys think, man? Should Diddy walk? I think he should. Honestly. Because what they're convicting him for is not what he's sitting in court for at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? Am I saying that right or wrong? Basically, right, the crimes that they're saying he's done, sexual trafficking, racketeering, which could cost him about 15 years to 25. That's a life sentence of not seeing his children and his family anymore because of the monstrosities that they've displayed in court, or the monstrosities that this guy has been doing in life, basically. There's a pattern. Is it actually what they're convicting him for? Is it sexual trafficking? Is it actually, I use the word, is it actually sexual trafficking? And is it actually racketeering? Are they able to prove that this is a criminal enterprise, that he's making money off criminal activities? First of all, I want to talk about the prosecutors, man. Are they out here to just get a bag, man? Because they've just displayed a guy's freak show, what he does behind closed doors. This is all I'm seeing. Do you get what I mean? I totally understand that, but there's worse out here, man. People are doing worse, and they're not really talking about these people that are doing worse than what Diddy's doing. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, Diddy's a monster. I agree. He's not human, but it's been said in his lyrics for time, which we've glorified. He's told you he's a bad boy, etc. He's told you about the freaky parties. Meet me at the after party and bring your friends, tell your friends, and we can be friends. He's been saying it from time. Do you get what I'm saying? We've glorified it. We've raved to it in clubs and thing. And now it's just like a wow factor. All because, yes, he laid his hands on a woman, which I don't condone, basically. I say no to that. No way. You know what I'm saying? Basically. However, what they have him on for in regards to sexual trafficking, right, it's not really a strong case, because they've had witnesses that's confirmed that these lot were participants. Do you get what I'm saying? And they were not forced to do it. They participated in the freak show. And when it comes to the racketeering as well, there's not really much of a strong case too, because nothing is proven that this guy, his criminal enterprise, has been created for his freak shows. So you're putting this guy in jail because he's a freak. That is crazy. You get what I'm saying? You know, don't get me wrong, man. It's the way I'm looking at it. It's the actual facts of law. So basically, it's in the hands of the jury. So Diddy's life is in the hands of the jury. If all the jury think that, yo, this guy is so much of a freak that he shouldn't be walking on planet Earth, he should be locked up, then he's done. Do you get what I'm saying? But if there's a jury out there that sees it how I see it, do you get what I'm saying? Because I thought the prosecution had a case of Pablo Escobar. You know what I'm saying? Like many things, they're going to talk about how he's been selling guns and pushing drugs, putting them in baby oil. The way they just built the case up, I just thought it was going to be something, like really epic. Since it's like the third week, the case has gone so boring now, man. The strongest witness they had was Cassie. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up to her. She just gave birth. Sorry, man. I'm sorry this happened to her, man. The text messages defense was reading out shows that this girl liked what she was experiencing. She liked that life. Do you get what I'm saying? The fact that she was paid for it, she got 20 million after she sued Diddy, obviously, which triggered the feds and everything. And at the back of Diddy, she sued the Intercontinental Hotel as well and got 10 million. Do you get what I'm saying? So it just shows you that she was out here to get something too, man. She learned from the best. She's been with Diddy for years. Do you get what I'm saying? And she was turning into a monster too, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Because as much as, they say, oh, we're trying to assassinate Cassie's character, Cassie had a character, man. She played with these guys. She played men. You know what I'm saying? She played man them, basically. She played Kid Cudi. She played Diddy. You get what I'm saying? She was trying to get with Michael B. Jordan. He was wild still with Diddy and everything. But this is not what we're coming here to talk about. This is like a drama series that, it's just got a lot of suspense in. You get what I'm saying? They're here to convict a guy for racketeering and also sexual trafficking, which the prosecution have not actually had strong proof of. The case is still going. They might have some more solid evidence and everything, but the way it's going, the defense is doing a great job. But it's going to all land towards the jury. Like I said, it's a jury thing that this guy's a monster. We don't care about the rules of racketeering. We don't care about the rules of sexual trafficking. We just want this guy locked up. Do you get what I'm saying? Then he's done. He's done for it, basically. That's just crazy. His life is in the jury's hands to help me emphasize on what I'm actually saying. I always watch these guys, Law and Crime. They have the best information when it comes to law and crime. So I'm going to bring them up. It's called PDIDDY Sex Trafficking and Racketeering Allegations, the evidence so far. Let's just go into this, and then obviously we'll talk some more. I'll react to what they're saying, basically. And then, you guys can decide. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You get what I'm saying? And happy 400 subscribers to me, man. You get what I mean? Chee. Let's listen to some professionals. Let's hear what they have to say concerning this case so far.
Prosecutors are working to prove he wasn't just a music mogul, but the mastermind of a criminal enterprise. In new explosive witness testimony, from kidnapping claims to allegations of witness intimidation, may have proved just that. But will it be enough for a conviction? I'm Kennedy Walker, and you're watching Law and Crime. To talk more about this is criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Randy Zellin. Randy, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just dive right in. Do you think prosecutors feel they've made their case so far, or do you think that they still have some more work to do?
Well, I think we need to break down the charges in order to really be able to answer that question, because you can't paint the answer with a simple yes or no. I think if we start with the most serious charge, the charge that I would be most concerned about from the defense point of view, that would be the sex trafficking, because that carries with it a mandatory minimum 15-year sentence, and the back end of that sentence is life. So a conviction there, Mr. Combs could find himself getting out of jail feet first. That charge, I don't believe the government has come even close. What
was I just saying? I don't think they've come close. We've seen worse. We've heard worse when it comes to sexual trafficking. I was thinking more, do you get what I'm saying, that this guy's done. But they had like witnesses call the Punisher on there talking like, yeah, my guy liked it here, he liked it there. He was in control. He had cameras here and there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here, man? This is just something that this guy likes behind closed doors. This is like a porn movie, man. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, the Punisher, she was into it. You know what I'm saying? I always used to text her too, and she used to text me back. What does that have to do with sexual trafficking? Do you get what I mean? Give me some more knowledge on this. You know what I mean? Is that sexual trafficking? Let's keep going, man.
Why do I say that? I say that because the government's star witness, Miss Ventura, with all of the horrors and the monstrosities and the atrocities that she suffered through, when it comes to the count of sex trafficking, which is, were you forced? Were you coerced? Were you defrauded into engaging into a sex act for money or for some other tangible benefit? That testimony completely undercuts that charge. Her testimony, the text messages, the communications where she appears to be a willing participant, she appears to be someone who's egging these freak-offs on.
Sorry, I'm pausing there, man. Who is egging these freak-offs on? Defense is doing such a great job because the text messages, the evidence, right, is the key factor to helping Diddy, basically. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not on Diddy's side or anything, man. I am just going according to law, according to what I know. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't really put this guy in for what you're saying that is sexual trafficking and racketeering. It's all falls down to domestics. So, basically, take him to court for domestics. Do you get what I mean? For domestic violence. It just sounded like domestic violence. That's what it's sounding like. Like, take him to court for that. Do you get what I mean? And going back to egging on from Cassie, do you get what I'm saying? Big up to Cassie, man. It's all love. Do you get what I mean? But them text messages, nah, they were too freaky, man. Sometimes you just like text the guy, yo, you know, whatever names they call each other. I want some of that ish. I want it right now. You know, he's like, yo, man, she wants a freak off right now. You know what I mean? Are you telling me that that's someone they forced? Nah, it don't make any sense, man. But it's gonna land in the jury's hands, man. But let's keep going, guys. Jeez.
To call her a victim of sex trafficking, I believe that the government has fallen woefully short of proving that charge. When your star witness turns into a defense witness, where the jury can't figure out, wait a minute, who called Cassie Ventura? Did the government call her or did the defense call her? The government doesn't have it there. When we talk about proof beyond a reasonable doubt, where you're so firmly convinced that you don't need any more information, the government doesn't have it there. As far as the RICO charge, I think the government has been building technically a far stronger RICO case than the sex trafficking. They have established, certainly, they have established extortion. They have established extortion by force. It's always easy to prove mail fraud or wire fraud. You use the mail, you pick up your phone, you send a text, you send an email. So they've got mail fraud, they've got wire fraud, they've got the two different forms of extortion. They may have witness tampering. They certainly have controlled substance offenses. But here, unless you have a question for me, I will tell you where I see the difficulty right now in the jury being convinced of a RICO enterprise.
Yeah, well, I honestly, I have so many questions with what you were saying
Fire away.
on that. I don't know where to start. Should we start on that or just going back to the sex trafficking
Yeah,
about Cassie?
please
Because I
start
think
on
you
that.
brought up a good point, right? Because, you know, a lot of people thought that it may have been more of a better testimony, I would say. People thought that it would be more of an open and closed case, that after her testimony, people aren't so sure. But is it fair to say, you know, after the expert took the stand and maybe sort of explained why a person who experienced domestic violence allegedly would go back, would continue to want to participate, would that help the charge?
Sorry, I had to pause there, man. That's another thing that I had to emphasize on. Do you get what I'm saying? The fact that they keep going back to that. They love the lifestyle. They love this guy. This is why I said it falls on the domestics, man. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not being sued for being a violent person. Do you get what I'm saying? He's being sued for sexual trafficking and racketeering. But all these things does not fall under racketeering and sexual trafficking. It doesn't at all, because these witnesses that he had as assistant, you know, he had as his girlfriend, they all wanted to be with Diddy. They all love Diddy. They're all jealous of each other. Do you get what I'm saying? They were all conniving, working, you know, against each other just to be number one. Do you get what I'm saying? He's a manipulator. That's what he did. Do you get what I'm saying? He's saying one thing in one's ear and he's saying another thing in another's ear. Do you get what I'm saying? But this is what guys do, though, when they're players. Do you get what I mean? And you're telling one girl, you're my number one. You're gonna be my queen. You know what I'm saying. You're gonna have my babies, and then he tells the assistant too the same thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And then one of them then sees, oh, this one's getting better treatment than me. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't like all this. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, it starts to get confusing. This all falls under domestics. This is not a sexual trafficking case or racketeering. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? The prosecution are not doing a great job here, man. They're just showing us like a Netflix movie with suspense, basically. That's all it is, I'm telling you. But yeah, let's keep going, man. I talk too much. Jeez.
Charges there, because there were times where Miss Ventura, you know, said no. Also, other witnesses took the stand and they said that they heard Cassie say that she didn't want to participate in these freak offs, or she didn't want to do this. So because we know that, and because we know just about the alleged domestic abuse, could that help that maybe she felt like she couldn't say no to Mr. Combs?
The difficulty that the government has in trying to shore up a problematic charge by using an expert is that the expert never treated Miss Ventura. So anytime you have someone coming in cold just to give a hypothetical, to give some intellectual explanation, but without ever having had the benefit of actually treating the person that the expert is talking about, if I'm a juror, I dismiss it. Moreover, testimony. When we testify at a trial, our testimony can be impacted, it can be affected by lots of things. Obviously, the easy thing is to say someone is lying. Someone can be mistaken. Someone can be influenced by other events, by surrounding events. Documents don't lie. Text messages made in the moment, as opposed to someone coming in years later and testifying. That text message testimony, the written communication testimony, is awfully powerful and will invariably push out of the way someone coming in years after the fact and giving testimony, again, where that testimony is old. It is affected, it is impacted, it is influenced by so many different things, not the least of which is, you want to testify the way we need you to, or do you want to find yourself with a problem? So many reasons why people testify in a way that could be different from what actually happened. That's why we always say there are three sides to every story, and the truth lies somewhere in between. Text messages, written communications made contemporaneously in the moment, that is far more powerful than someone getting on the stand years later and saying, yes, I remember this is what happened. She said no.
Well, we've heard from more than a dozen witnesses at this point. From your perspective, what testimony stands out the most?
Unfortunately for the government, I find the testimony that stands out the most are from most of the government witnesses who have really called into question the most serious charge, which is, again, the sex trafficking charge. The government's inability to take a person and then not any other person, but that person now being subjected to force, fraud, or coercion to engage in a commercial sex act. What the government has done is proven that Mr. Combs he's not human. He is beyond a monster. He is beyond an animal. He would have been convicted in 3 seconds of assault, of domestic violence related offenses, potentially of conspiracy to commit arson with regard to Kid Cudi, robbery, maybe even kidnapping or false imprisonment. He's not on trial for any of those.
Yo, this guy's just saying the same thing that I've said, man. I might have said it in different terms, but basically you get my timeline of what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? This is a domestic violence case. Sue him for that. Do you get what I mean? Are you just trying to get a payday off this guy because, you know he's such a celebrity and stuff? Because there's worse out there. There's worse that the federales haven't talked about. Do you get what I'm saying? I.e. the Epstein case. Do you get what I mean? There's worse, that they've hidden. Too much power. Do you get what I mean? They're using Diddy as a scapegoat, and now they've disgraced him so much that he will either go to jail for this disgrace or walk and will be actually done in the industry. The fact that they've exposed him so much, you get what I mean? And he's such a meme at the moment, like all over the internet, all over the social media platforms. He's a meme, basically. Everything is no Diddy. So it's just crazy. So let's keep going, man. My bad.
He's on trial for very specific offenses: sex trafficking, engaging in a RICO enterprise, running a criminal enterprise, and bringing prostitutes across state lines to engage in prostitution. The RICO case, where, again, the government seems to be building a case where we have seen this group, this association of people engaging in all kinds of criminal activity. Again, the arson of Kid Cudi's Porsche, the burglary of Kid Cudi's house, the extortion of lots of different people, either by threats of releasing a sex tape or by threats of violence. Again, using text, you have wire fraud. Emails, you have wire fraud. The actual predicate acts, the government is now building their foundation. The government is now building the case. But here's the problem. 2 problems, actually. Number 1, when we think of a criminal enterprise, we think of an enterprise that is in business. Businesses are in business to make money. Right now, the jury has to be left scratching their heads. I didn't hear a word, that this enterprise was in business to make money. When we think of criminal enterprises, we think of organized crime, we think of the mafia. The mafia is in business to make money, whether it's through loan sharking or gambling or extortion or prostitution or drug dealing. It's all about making money for the members of that organized crime family. When we talk about other kinds of gangs and other associations like a gang, they're in business to make money. It seems that Mr. Combs's business was in business to get him off sexually. That, to me, is going to be a problem for the jury. That's problem 1. Problem 2 is the RICO, in the mind of a juror, the enterprise is supposed to be connected to the sex trafficking.
I'm loving this guy, man.
But that connection has not been made.
Breaking it
so
down.
I think it's just too confusing. So,
well,
yes,
do you think that
go ahead. Please.
I'm wondering, because we still have weeks left, right? So do we think that maybe they're just building this up, like we're waiting to find out how it all connects?
I have tried enough cases against the Department of Justice. I've tried enough cases in the Southern District to know that it's not like reading a suspense novel. It's not like watching a Netflix suspense show where it starts out, it's kind of boring, it's kind of nondescript, it's kind of quiet, and then something happens, and then something happens, and the suspense builds, and the suspense builds until you have that aha moment. That's not the way criminal trials work. The way the government works, particularly in the Southern District, the government starts strong, they continue strong, they end strong. That's why the government has a high 90-some-odd% conviction rate. It's because most people know that the government comes out of the box strong, they continue strong, and they end strong. So you try to resolve the case and avoid a trial. And if you're going to trial, you will find the government comes out of the box strong, they continue strong, and they end strong. So no, I don't believe that the best is yet to come. I think the government's best was Cassie Ventura. The government's best were the sex workers who were brought in. And I think here, as time goes on, things are going to get better for the defense, because to your point, if the jury's waiting, okay, come on, where is, we've seen lots of sizzle, where's my steak? Where are the
Where is the full bar? Where is this going, basically? This is what I'm saying. Like, where is this going? Is this just people that don't like Diddy at all, man? And they just put him in front of a jury. You get what I mean? They put him in front of a jury to decide his life. It's gonna be the jury's decision, because this is not a case that you should put him for sexual trafficking and racketeering, because there's no proof. Your evidence ain't strong enough. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, I understand the things that he did, the monstrosities that he's done, but people have done worse and they've hidden it. They're still hiding it till today. Do you get what I mean? So they're using this man as a scapegoat because of certain reasons. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a tough one, man. The power in this game over here, or in this industry, the power in the media, they're powerful people that can't be touched. Do you get what I'm saying? And if they really want you in jail, they will put you in jail. And that is just facts. But let's keep going, man. I'm liking this guy, the way he's breaking it down. Jeez, he should be working for the defense. Not gonna lie.
promises that you made to me? When are you going to keep those promises? As time goes on, the jurors are going to start to feel disappointed. I think the same way the public is beginning to feel disappointed. I don't think you have the same clamor, the same energy, the same, oh my God, what's going on? This case is no longer, in my opinion, no longer front page news.
Yeah.
And I think if it's no longer
let's talk more about that and just what the jury may be thinking right now, right? Starting with Capricorn Clark's story, being allegedly kidnapped, threatened, and forced to take a lie detector test. That was crazy, right? Sounded like something out of a movie. How seriously do juries usually take stories that sound this extreme? And could Capricorn Clark's testimony help prove the racketeering?
No. It would be one thing if Capricorn Clark took the stand and said, I started working for Mr. Combs in 2018. And by the middle of 2018, I couldn't take it anymore. I had been threatened. I had been threatened with violence. I had been kidnapped. I had been forced to take lie detector tests. I felt my life was in danger. So yes, I went in, I started my job. I thought it was the greatest job in the world. I really tried to stick it out. But a couple of months into it, it just wasn't worth my physical health and my sanity. Capricorn Clark started working in 2004. The first act of insanity that she suffered through was almost immediately after she started working for Mr. Combs. In 2024, 2 decades later, she's still trying to get her job back. In 2024, she tells Mr. Combs' lawyers, hey, you do know this would have never been a problem if I was still his chief of staff.
Whoa.
In my mind, Capricorn Clark's testimony is absolutely worthless. As Post Malone likes to say, it's all hat and no cattle. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Close but no cigar. Do you get what I mean? See this Capricorn Clark. Yeah. I rate that, man. I rate what this guy said. Do you get what I mean? I like facts. So this brings me back to all these people that worked for Diddy and left and kept coming back to him. Why? Why is that? Even this Mia that accused him of sexual acts and everything, do you get what I'm saying? Why keep coming back? Why give him a message, happy birthday, someone R-worded you? Do you get what I mean? Why? Why not report him there and there, you know, after the thing has happened? Yes, I understand that you were scared, but this is your life too, man. You're going to leave it so long and this is going to happen. Everyone's going to start doubting you. Do you get what I'm saying? You've gone through this, PTSD, etc., but you still keep coming back to that lifestyle because obviously there's a lot of money involved. Sorry that I'm just going in bits and pieces, but please just try and put everything together in summary as I'm speaking. So I heard Diddy paid Capricorn $55,000, but he made her work like she only got like 4 hours sleep. Did you get what I'm saying? But working for a billionaire that wants to make so much money, what do you think? What do you think it would be? You're going to work your ass off. You're going to work and work and work, you know what I'm saying, until this guy becomes a billionaire, and then you get your bonuses, etc. Do you get what I mean? In terms of that labor factor, I don't think it should be involved in the case because it happens to everyone. Everyone in the public. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we're working our asses off and we feel like we should get paid more. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you get teachers, lawyers, you know, going on rallies and stuff, you know, saying that pay us more. So it's happening everywhere. So that shouldn't be involved in the case at all. And going back to Cassie too, all these things happened, but you kept going back because you liked the lifestyle, you loved it, and then obviously, after you broke up with him, you ended up moving to your mum's house with the hobby and everything, with the husband. You tried to go on tour, tried to write a book. Obviously, that's when this happened. And then you get 20 million from it. And then you sue the Intercontinental to get 10 million. It just shows you that these guys were out to get something, you know, from this. It is what it is. Diddy would have done the same, because that's who Diddy is. Everyone knows Diddy's character. Do you get what I'm saying? So it looks like they learned from Diddy, man. All of them just learned from Diddy, basically. Do you get what I mean? But you know, let's cut the long story short and let's end this. Let's end this. What this guy's talking about, man. Do you get what I mean? I try to less pausing, but you know, I don't like to forget what I need to say, so that's why I kind of pause. So, all love, people. Thank you.
You make some great points, but then you just have to say, wait a minute. She's in, out, sideways, back, forth for 2 decades. Her testimony to me is worthless.
Worthless.
Well, what about
Absolutely.
Kid Cudi, right? And his car exploding, even though there's no physical proof tying Mr. Combs to it. How much weight can that carry in court? And is that proving RICO?
It could. Certainly arson would be a predicate offense for purposes of establishing a pattern. But I think the jury will be left confused because how do they tie the arson into the sex trafficking, even if legally they're not supposed to. All great trial lawyers are great storytellers. The government story, it's not working because is it a sex trafficking case? Is it a criminal enterprise designed to get Mr. Combs his sexual fantasy satisfied? Is his enterprise there for purposes of him settling scores with men who have affairs with his girlfriends? What is the nature? What is the purpose of this enterprise? So as powerful as Kid Cudi's testimony might be, I mean, that must have been awfully scary. A Molotov cocktail thrown into my Porsche. The guy's in my house. So what the jury is getting right now is the picture of an unhinged, insane, off the rails, scary monster. But that's not what he's charged with. What I'm concerned about, in a weird way, nullification, jury nullification. But in this instance, reverse jury nullification. Typically, we have jury nullification benefiting the defense. You have a defendant on trial, the government puts their case in, case is strong, the proof is strong, but the jury looks at the defendant and says, I feel for the person, I get it, I sympathize, I relate. Maybe they just like the defendant, maybe they just like the defense attorney, maybe they just like the family sitting in the gallery, but for reasons having absolutely nothing to do with the proof. The jury disregards the judge's instructions, they don't follow the law, and they acquit. That is your typical jury nullification. Perhaps the classic example of jury nullification is the O.J. Simpson case, where proof didn't matter. Here, what I'm concerned about is the jury goes the other way, much like we saw with Harvey Weinstein, where there's so much proof of other stuff that Mr. Combs gets convicted because of the other stuff, not because of the actual evidence, which are supposed to line up with the elements of each charge that he's been indicted on. And we see cases reversed on appeal. Go ahead.
Right. And so basically, are we thinking here that even if the government does not prove sex trafficking, even if they can't prove RICO, because they were able to lay out decades worth of, alleged bad behavior, allegedly, done by Mr. Combs, whether that be the domestic violence, whether that be threatening or intimidation, that may make the jury convict him just because they may not like him?
Yeah, someone wants this guy in jail. Like I said, man, they put it in the hands of the jury because the case ain't strong. Why would you refuse bail on 3 occasions? Not let this guy out of jail on 3 occasions. They want this guy in there. Do you get what I mean? They want him, and he's a scapegoat, basically, because there's bigger fish out there that they can capture. This is a small fish, but we'll give you this guy, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't give him bail. You can't give him, you're going to have to convict him. Even if it's not sexual trafficking, even if it's not racketeering, just put him in front of a jury and make sure you display all his monstrosities and talk about every effed up ish that he's done. So if a jury out there, right, or all the juries say, right, this guy should go in because of all these patterns that we see, which doesn't fall under the sexual trafficking or racketeering. Whew. Life in jail because of that? Yeah. It just shows you, man, karma is a bitch.
They just may say, this is not someone who deserves to walk amongst us ever again. I don't care whether or not the government has actually proven their case or not. I don't care that this is a case that should have been prosecuted down the street by Alvin Bragg's office and just charging him with second-degree assault and third-degree assault and related crimes concerning domestic violence. charge him with as much as you can. He's convicted in 2 seconds. And by the way, that said, I applaud the government's efforts here, because sometimes the government looks at a defendant and says, we cannot look away. We may not have a case, but we can't look away, and we can't be afraid to lose. So the hell with it. If the jury speaks, we've done our job. If the jury speaks and they acquit, our heads are held high. We did our jobs. And that's why we have the justice system that we have. The jury spoke.
If you're on the defense team, how do you even begin to push back on allegations this serious and emotional?
You meet them head on. You run to the fire. You embrace them. And you look the jurors dead in the eye and say, ladies and gentlemen, my client is probably someone that you hate, someone that you despise, someone who perhaps has sorely disappointed you, because maybe before these charges came to light, you viewed Sean Combs as just a superstar, an icon, an American hero, someone. There's a reason why his white party out east was the go-to place. There's a reason why he has become so successful. And maybe you look at him and you want to throw up. That's okay. But ladies and gentlemen, he is not charged with being an animal. He's not charged with being a monster. He is charged with very specific crimes that carry with it very specific elements. And what the government has done is they have insulted your intelligence. They have tried to convince you to hate my client instead of simply looking at the evidence, taking the evidence, holding it up to the light of the legal instructions, and then determining whether or not there's a fit. There's that click. There's no click here, ladies and gentlemen. The government has piled on with salacious, inflammatory, prejudicial, awful proof that is irrelevant to this case. And that's because they don't have the proof that they need to convict my client. So please, you promised us when you took the oath that you would decide this case on nothing more than your common sense and your everyday life experiences. You would leave emotion aside. You would leave anger aside. You promised you would listen to the judge's instructions on the law. And you promised that if the government did not prove to you each and every element by the evidence that has come into this trial, you promised that you would acquit. That's how you do it.
That was amazing. Maybe Mr. Combs needs to put you on his team. I don't know.
No, he's got a who's who of defense counsel. They're doing just fine.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Randy, for coming on. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks. Thank you.
Cheese. I'm going to have to pause it right there, man, and just say it falls under the jury. The defense has to do a good job ending this case and releasing this guy and, preventing him from going to jail for life. Can you see that, guys? Diddy going to jail for life? Can you guys see that? Diddy going to jail for life? Whoo! The defense has to do a good job, man. They're getting there. They're doing a good job at the moment. But if the prosecution finds anything else, you get what I'm saying? Because they're digging deep. The case is still going. The defense has to show Diddy's good side too, because this is all being about his dark side. But the strategy that they're using is good. I hope ending, because you don't want to start with that. So you want to end it with a good note. Say, this guy's done this for charity. This guy, has done this for schools. He has kids. Look at his beautiful daughters, etc. Do you get what I mean? Yes, we understand that he's a monster. It came from that era, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Gradually all this sexual assholes started becoming, the cases started becoming stronger, and obviously they started convicting people for domestics and everything. But in that era of Biggie, Tupac, all them man there, they used to beat women. Pause, excuse me. You get what I'm saying? I'll never lay my hands on a woman. Do you get what I'm saying? But that was the era they used to do all that. Do you get what I'm saying? Pimp. What do you think a pimp is? And what do you think happened to Cassie? Do you get what I'm saying? It was pimping. Like I said already, it's been in the guy's lyrics. We've glorified it. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can't come now and say, oh, what he's doing is wrong and everything. When you're in the clubs and you're saying, I'm a pimp, 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 pimp. What do you think was going on? Do you get what I mean? So don't confuse it, guys. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope he walks so he can go chill with his family and everything. And then you can sue him for domestics. But it's a bit too late now. He's already giving you 20 million. And Intercontinental is giving you 10 million. Do you get what I'm saying? You're rich. Do you get what I mean? Because that was the strongest witness they had, you know, which is Cassie. Do you get what I'm saying? So big up to her. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm sorry it's happening to all of them, but it's life, man. If you do bad, bad will come to you, man. Do you get what I'm saying? So put good energy up in this earth so you get good energy back, man. Do you get what I mean? But I'm going to leave it there, man. What did you guys think, man? Do you get what I'm saying? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for 400 subscribers, man. I'm going there, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Cheese, 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 cheese. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Do you think Diddy's gonna walk? Please leave some comments. Let me know, man. What do you guys think? I want to hear more, man. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to hear it from the evidence so far, man. What do you think? Do you think Cassie's been playing them? Do you think Cassie's out to make money out of this? Do you get what I'm saying? Forget the fact that, you know, all that happened to her. I'm really sorry that it happened to her. Do you get what I mean? But you could have walked away too, man. You know what I mean? But it appears that you like that lifestyle, and the proof of you liking that lifestyle is the fact that you are not satisfied with, you know, being with your man and then landing in your mum's house, and then you had to do something else to make more money out of it. Do you get what I'm saying? I can understand the 20 million, yeah, but the Intercontinental one at the back of Diddy, where no one knew about it, and you got 10 million for that. Whew. You know what I'm saying? That's a bit like, yo, I'm just trying to get money every way I can, man. Now I don't have to go tour, you know what I'm saying? But I do understand, man. You're a woman with kids and everything, so it's all love, man, from the dub. You get what I mean, man? I just hope, I pray for all these guys, man. I pray the Lord does his thing accordingly. Do you get what I mean? Because they've been put in front of the law, so it's all in the hands. Diddy's been put in front of the law, basically, so it's all in the hands of the jury. That's all I can say, and I'm gonna end it on that note. As it keeps going, I'll try and do more Diddy updates, so please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. You get what I mean? It's your boy the Dub, and I'm out of here, man. Cheese.